Okay, super bummed. After years of using the Lunatic bottle, it has now officially broken. The little pump cap came off and like it won't stay down like it's supposed to. Oh no! Just doing a little cleanup because I had a little mud get into my van. Yes, this is as good a time as any to say hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. It's later in the evening today and I have been just enjoying the Telluride area. I pulled into Mary E Campground on the very first day that they're actually open, and I was the second person to get here. Now I know that it's going to be pretty full, so I went ahead and got a couple days, and I've just been really soaking it in, enjoying myself. And since I'm going to be here for a couple days before I hit the road again, I thought I would get the spot that Dee and I had stayed at a long time ago when I first introduced her to Telluride. This has a beautiful water approach and you can see the river. Now, when we were here, the river was very low and slow. It's later in the season. I am here and there's a lot of snow melt this year, so it is flowing and it is fabulous. And I am enjoying it so much. Although some of my projects aren't going as well as they should, as you can see. You know, it's life, it's fine. I do have some leftovers for dinner tonight. I'm just gonna sink into my space and just take it in and enjoy myself, and then wake up in the morning and probably go and just take a nice, calm, like a little walk by the water, even though the water's like going. And we'll see how much I get to really enjoy this campsite. I'm very excited. It's $20 a night, and normally if I'm in an area that's popular like Telluride, if I don't want to stay super far away, I'll just get a campsite. This one is super close to everything that I need, and I know for a fact that I don't have to fight for a campsite at the end of the night because they mark the spots, they have a really nice camp host, they have trash, and they have porta potties here, which is kind of nice. Again, Mary E has always treated me well. I've done a video on this in the past, so go check that one out, but I am going to go check on this mat. Expect it to be perfect, but just as long as it got some of that goopy gunk off of it, we should be fine. I should have done this earlier in the day, but I didn't get here until a little bit later, so I just kind of took the first little bit to download and to relax and to try to get that little Lunatic bottle out, and well, we saw what happened with that. I'm gonna see if I can find one on Amazon, and if I can find an Amazon Dropbox somewhere, because I really need that thing. I use that a lot of times to wash my hair whenever I'm on the road. I can also take a quick shower with it and not have to worry about like getting out a whole setup. That's super handy, but it's sprung, so it's gonna have to go in the garbage, realistically. For now though, this is still a whole lot of water. Backside's pretty dry. I mean, just from what I touched and stuff, but it's pretty dry. So I technically could put this in the van, but oh man. It is amazing here. This is literally one of my favorite places. Whenever I come to Colorado, I always enjoy certain areas that I've recreated in a lot, and specifically the areas that I have been to several times. I always find new things to do. Now this one has been interesting for me because it started out on that first trip with the weird slide down the mountain. My first camping in the car experience, I must say. Up until that point, I had just been tenting it out everywhere. And I thought that I was going to continue doing that until I slid down the mountain and had to get a tow truck. Super fun. So on that particular night, I basically took all of my blankets and I made a pallet in the back of a very small car. And in doing so, I slept at a place that no longer is even here. I was so panicked after my first experience where I had to call the tow truck that I was just frazzled, and I needed to find another campsite. But at the same time, I talked to the tow truck driver and he could see that I was clearly stressed, and he was like, hey, I know you want to go camp, but if you can stay in your car, there's this place that you could park in town. And I went there, and for the very first time I slept in the car, and I was just like, huh, okay, so this is an opportunity for me to get out of the elements if I need to. So on the very next trip, I ended up purchasing a small like foam pad to lay across my back seat, and then I could put my other stuff kind of in the gaps. And so that way, if I needed to pull off because I was tired and I needed to take a nap, I could do that in a safe way. Before I could not, unless I just leaned my seat back. I didn't have window covers or anything. But it also gave me an option if I was stuck in bad weather and if I went to a place that I would have to stay in the car. That was never the plan, but I also had that as like a mitigation just in case. And it brought me a lot of comfort knowing that if I did get into a weird spot where I couldn't put up my tent because it was pouring down rain, or if I was getting to a place and, like the sliding down the mountain incident, I could have something that would be a fallback option. Up until that point, I never thought anything of that, so that was kind of a blessing and the beginning of what led me to here, having a van and coming back here many times and having a much more pleasurable experience. See, the first time that I came, I could only stay one night, and that free lot that I was so happy to be able to use, the one that no longer exists, yeah, that was my saving grace. But I was terrified of coming back to it because I didn't know if I would be able to do that, if that makes sense. I was set up very differently then. I was set up for tent camping. I wasn't set up for this. And so I stayed one day. That was it. Sad panda. I was so upset. But since then I have come back and I've been able to celebrate that in my van with my van friends, coming here with Dee, of course, previously, and then coming back myself. And so anytime I come here, it brings me back to that very first full circle moment of me staying in the vehicle and the weird story that made. Very, very weird. I realize not everyone is going to slide down a mountain. That's just a me thing, I guess. But anyway, so as I'm here, I'm just smiling because this is a campground again I love. There are several others, like the one that I stayed at yesterday that's just outside of town. And there's 2 other national forest campgrounds that I know of, but I have not stayed in those. So that is kind of my story about why I'm here and also what this place means to me. So yeah, I'm just gonna soak it in a little bit more. The rain is starting to slow down finally, which means that I need to probably pry myself out of bed. But it's real hard when it's this cozy. I basically have built a little cocoon of happiness. But I got a lot to do today, so I need to get myself together. Oh. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Okay, I think I'm ready to move around for the day. I think I know what the song is. It reminds me of one of my friends from Texas. Ooh, sometimes you get a good feeling. I don't know what that song is though. I'm gonna have to Shazam it. That is my song. Okay, I figured it out, and I just realized that it's also a song that reminds me of someone I worked with. Go figure. It's Good Feeling by Flo Rida. So that is going to be my song of the day. And I'm going to think about my friend Stacy, who actually sang on tour with Flo Rida for a little bit. Okay. Woo! It turned out to be beautiful after the rain. Quite a bit of rain still hanging out on the van though. Definitely in search of some sunglasses for the day. These will work. My goal is I think I'm going to go down by the water for a few minutes just to go soak it in, and then I'll be back here this evening to relax after all my adventures. Okay, I now feel awake. It's beautiful. There's a little bit of just water on everything. I feel real good. I do got a good feeling. So I'm gonna get off to my adventures. Remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. Find yourself a happy place. Find yourself a place that brings you back full circle and just revisit it. Soak it in. You know, no matter how many times I come here, I have a different experience every time. And that's what makes travel so special. Till next time guys, bye.